Once again, welcome. It's a beautiful Sunday evening, and I've got two fine gentlemen in the studio with me who will be talking to us about something that they consider really important. These men are from the Save Oji River Initiative. Sorry, it's an evaluation of social contracts of elected officials in Oji River local government. So they are here to talk to us about the evaluation of the social contracts of elected officials in Oji River local government. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, join me to make welcome Chief Barrister Ilo Celestine Nabike, who is the head of the steering committee of the Safe Oji River Initiative. A very good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, my people.
All right, and also I have with me His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Onyefuru Edmond. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, you're welcome.
All right, you're here from the Save Oji River Initiative.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, what is the Save Oji River Initiative all about?
Well, good evening, Enugu State indigenous and citizens. And as you rightly said, we are from Save Oji River Initiative. Okay. And the Save Oji River Initiative is a byproduct or a product of one of ours, Kingsley Chukwe Bukawaka. He conveyed us, okay, and made us to understand that there is need to push, and that is to place demand at the doorstep of people in corridors of power, so they understand that the sovereignty given to them should be accounted for. So that is the essence of this movement. And we have been on ground for long. We have been on ground demanding performance from people elected or don't know how to pick themselves in power. We don't care how you come into power. But once you're in power, you owe us a duty. Duty is to perform, okay, and deliver the dividend of democracy to the people of Oji River and beyond, because we are a registered organization. It's just that the name is like it caged us within Oji River, but the scope covers Nigeria. Okay. So when you're talking of registration of an NGO, is under the Act and is protected under the Act. So it goes beyond once you are talking of the end of the objective. Our end of objective covers Nigeria, but incidentally, they say charity begins at home. So we are starting from our immediate constituency, which is Oji River local government. So we are placing demand for performance and accountability and good governance from anybody that found himself elected to represent Oji River in any capacity.
Okay, I'm very curious about the name. The name says Save Oji River. Why Save Oji River? Do you think Oji River needs saving right now? Do you think that the current leaders from Oji River extraction are not performing?
Yes, of course. If all is well, nobody will be calling for saving the system. So from all indication, I don't know whether you have passed through Oji River for once. I don't know.
Yes, I have.
You know how palatable the roads are. Especially from Oji River to Ugoba. But that is not what we're talking about here. Okay. So some politicians will tell you it's a federal road. That is to say we don't have a federal representative that will go to the house and demand for those roads to be fixed. You know exactly at the NEPA stuff, what they call it Wonderful Market, where they have wonderful water system. Okay. It's the Enugu State-owned water corporation system. But that place is horrible. I don't want to go there. What I'm trying to say here is that the system have decayed. We are talking of modern lifestyle for a 21st century human being. Okay. Such things are not in place in our locality. The feeder road is a thing of the past. Nobody's talking about feeder road anymore. Water system, they call it pipe-borne water system, is no longer an issue. Nobody's demanding for it, because it's not possible. But we are telling them, you were elected to provide this. Healthcare system is off the track. Market system is off the track. So nobody is telling you, nobody is talking about good governance. We have quite elected men in power. We are not saying that the state is not giving us our due position in elected positions, but that those ones that have found themselves in power are not giving us the dividends, okay, or the reasons why they've been placed in power. So especially local chairman. If you talk to them, they will tell you it did not start today, because as I said before, we have been on ground for some years now, and we frequent urban radio. We come here most of the time to cry, okay, but it's unfortunate that they are not interested in what we are talking about. But we will not keep mute. We have exposed our chest to the thunderstorms, and nothing will deter us from making them understand that place they occupy is because we exist. And if they fail to give us what we want, we will not rest until they come to reasoning with us.
All right, let's get to you, Your Royal Highness Igwe Onyefulu Edmond. He mentioned that the Save Ojiriva initiative does not intend to let elected leaders who are not performing rest, or else they give you the dividends of why you voted them into that system. But I want to ask you this question. It's the people of Ojiriva that voted these people in, these people that are not performing. Why did the people of Ojiriva vote in someone that would not perform?
Good evening. Your question is very well understood. These days, I won't tell you it's Ojiriva that put them there. When my colleague was saying, he said, even if we are not the people who elected them, but once they get into the office, they are responsible to us.
Who elects them if not the people of Ojiriva?
Beautiful. You can understand clearly in Nigeria, particularly at the local government level, there's no real elections. But we are not going day to day. But it has caused a lot of things that most of the local government representatives or executives, we are not elected. It's a clear issue. Okay?
How did they get into office?
Through their parties. Parties and godfathers. Parties and what? Godfathers. They will tell you this one step down for the other one. Those one step for the other one. And they are stepping down. They are using our fund they are supposed to use for our development. Okay. And the issue remains that, the fact remains that these days, I think the last clear job that was done in Ojiriva, except these two regimes that brought a structure there in Ojiriva. But I will tell you, the last structure was there in 1976. Another new structure, which I don't know, by the time I saw the money, the amount of money that was used in that building, you could build that type of building 5.
You mean in the local government?
Yes.
Okay.
In headquarters. And these days again, they have divided the local government into development centers. Fine. Like last time I saw their budget, I told them this is not workable budget. There's workable budget and there's no budgets that are not workable. Because we look at the content of the budget, we see that this budget is not workable because it's not meant for the local government.
What are the particular issues you have with the budgets? What exactly?
Fine.
What are those things?
Ojiriva is to be developed. And if Ojiriva is to be developed, the purpose of government structure is for structural developments. Okay? If, like, we have local government, we have state government, we have federal government. And each of these people, each group, there is a Ojiriva person there representing us. But I'll tell you, there's no facility. We don't even hear them at their levels. And there's nothing they are bringing or complaint they're taking from our local government. In that case, I will always say they go there to collect their stomach and go home. For years, there's nothing. If you go to primary schools in Ojiriva, you will call it a scorpion or snake environment. If you go to water, even this is wonderful, because the name wonderful was derived from a stream in Oji. Fine. Even that water is very hard to be pushed down to hinterland. So, nothing in Ojiriva, mention it, is moving. For not less than 10 years now, every project in Ojiriva, from primary, secondary, I'm not talking about primary healthcare, because primary healthcare, personally, I've given them two beds to make sure that the one in my community is going.
You've given them 2 beds?
2 beds and some other things. Okay. But the issue remains that it kept being there because the people who were to represent us neglected every project in Ojiriva, every system of governance, and then they report to us. They kept a gap for us. So the issue remains that nothing in Oji, and that's why we're crying.
Okay.
Let people come and hear us and help us, or let's see how we structure ourselves. Otherwise, they will soon see us as deviant because we say no when such thing happen again.
All right. I'll get back to you, Chief Barrister Ilo Celestine. I mean, His Royal Highness has said it, that they don't come back to the leaders of Ojiriva don't come back to tell the people how the funds are being spent. Is it not part of the duties of your initiative, the Save Ojiriva initiative, to call these leaders for town hall meetings to come and explain? Have you ever tried to call them and did they respond to you?
Thank God we're on record. Whatever we're saying, we have We have recorded transactions between us and local government.
Okay.
There was a period we wrote a letter to local government chairman, this present chairman, demanding for some certain kind of accountability, particularly on issue bordering on budget. But he played aloof. He did not respond to us. He sent his media person to talk to us. At the end of the day, the specifics we are demanding for did not see the light of the day. Now, when you talk of town hall meeting, we had a town hall meeting last year, I think around February last year. And the G Studio, we paid heavily for it. They covered us live from Oji River. We have the records. They aired live from Oji River, UPE Primary School. It was covered. We invited all of them, stakeholders. The Igwes, we have about 6 Igwes that came for that program. They were there. We spoke to the chairman or the so-called stakeholders. I call them so-called because they are on their own, because it's like a kangaroo arrangement. They place themselves in power. They have their own stakeholders arrangement that discharges the people from reality. They are not part of the system. They are totally distant from the people. Now, so that's why I use that word, the so-called. I know the implication. Now, we had a stakeholders meeting, which none of them honored. But in that stakeholders meeting, we prefer solutions. Criticism is very simple, but we have a system. Oji River is well structured with dynamic young men. We have deep-rooted structure. To the extent that if I'm not here, somebody can come here and talk about it. But we have our team. We have our team of dynamic young men. So now we organize that town hall meeting. None of the elected officials we invited came. Even the government chairman himself did not come. So now, but that not deter us from holding our meetings with the Igwes and other community stakeholders that were present. They came there. We discussed about Oji River and provide solution to the issues burning on the burner. But the truth remains that most of the problem we are complaining, most of the issues we are raising here, is as a result of the people not understanding their rights. Then we that understood our rights are now placing at the forefront of everybody that this is doable. Governance is doable. Delivering democratic dividend is doable in ideal society. But when you talk about our area, once you mention that they are not doing this, they will tell the governor is holding their money, governor is doing this, but the governor is telling everybody, local government is chairman are responsible for their local government. The fund comes to them. We know, at least I've been privy to read the budget. Federal government publishes the budget that comes to every local government. So most of the budget we're talking about, we should be accounted by the local government chairman. So now, but in this situation, nothing is coming in Oji River. Let me digress a bit. People will be asking, why are these guys talking about Oji River all the time? I don't know if any local government have come to the studio talking about their own local government. I don't know. But if you look at Oji River, you will discover that Oji River is very close to Anambra. It's a bordering town. And Oji can be equated with the local governments like Ekulobia, Oka, Ogidi, Oba. These are our conglomerates. These are our local
governments of 76.
Local governments of 76. These are the kind of local governments, not the Ezago, and the Ezago was on that before. So we have been in the 76. So that shows you that there are a level of expectation from an average person in Oji River. Now, when you look at the likes of federal parastatals that have been in Oji River, you have prisons, you have the police college, you have the NAPA, you have the Tannery, you have Federal Police College, you have School of Health. That shows you that people from different locations in Nigeria have been imagined there. It's a cosmopolitan society environment where people from diverse culture have been in existence. So it's not a village. So I grew up there. So that's why the push came up. So what we witnessed in the early 80s and mid 80s and even early 90s was better than what we are seeing now. Why? It's supposed to be in the progression. But now the integration is the order of the day. So that's why people like us, and if you come to Oji River in 1980, you will be happy with the environment. But you get to Oji River now, particularly from that wonderful to wherever you are going, you will not see any meaningful development. We are not. To some people, it looks as if it's a rocket science, delivering on your do they campaign? They don't even campaign. I don't want to go into campaign. But the issue is that once you see yourself in power, you are accountable to some people. But they feel that they're not accountable to anybody. So that's why people like us are saying you are to be held accountable. This is just the beginning. We are going extra mile. All the instrumentality of law must be put in place to checkmate these guys. We are going after some people these days. This same initiative will have to go after some people. Okay. They must be held accountable. EFCC is not for fun. ICPC is not for fun. Then all these federal establishments that are there to checkmate bureaucracy, we have to test this water this time around, particularly this particular regime. I don't have a problem with anybody. Okay. I don't have any issue with any human being anywhere in Nigeria. But the Goodluck of Jonathan was saying at a point that he didn't have an enemy. He never knew that the enemies are within. So in a nutshell, what we are saying is that anybody that finds himself in the corridor of power in Nigeria should be accountable to the people of Nigeria.
Okay, you said the EFCC is not for fancy. Is the Save Ojiriva initiative planning to push litigations against underperforming
yes, of course. Yes, of course. We have been. We are gathering data. We are gathering data. We will take it to the next level. Okay. We have like 3-4 lawyers in our system, or 5 lawyers in our system. Okay, and I'm a legal practitioner. I've been in this. I'm in the forefront of this matter. I've been an active activist. Okay. At the national level. So that's why I'm replicating what I'm doing at national level to my state level and local government particularly. So anybody that finds himself in power in Nigeria should be getting ready. I'm
certain you people are getting some antagonism from the people in power or the people that you're opposing. So I'll get to you, Your Royal Highness. I want to ask you this particular question. I mean, this is an initiative, Save Ojiriva initiative, but is there any possibility that in the future this initiative will coalesce, can become a political front or a political party or a political movement within Ojiriva local government?
The answer is no, outrightly no. Because you cannot checkmate again when you become part of the system. Okay? As a professional, I'm a doctor in accounting and a professional chartered accountant for MICAN. So when you become a part of the system, you can't control the system.
So you always remain
neutral. We always remain the corrective part of it. And as a traditional ruler, you know I cannot be part of a political system. But I can tell you as a father that what you are doing is wrong.
But you can support some political...
the answer, once as a traditional ruler, you start supporting any person, you are partisan. You are supposed to be custodian, not to be part of it. Your question well answered.
Okay. Okay, that's fair enough. You said it here categorically on radio that the Save Ojiriva initiative will never form a political party.
No.
Okay, so you always remain the conscious of the society,
Beautiful.
The Ojiriva society.
And to cry for them when there is need.
Okay, so one other thing is that you intend to rile up the consciousness of the people to understand that they should demand what is due to them from their leadership. So how do you intend to achieve this, the Save Ojiriva initiative? Aside coming on Urban Radio to talk about it, what other things are you putting in place to get the people to be politically conscious?
Like I really said, we organize seminars, we organize workshops. We did the last one, I think, in February.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So we create awareness. We talk to our people, tell them what's there. Just like we are saying now, we go to town hall meetings, we organize them and inform them about the situation. At times, you mentioned about intimidation. It's all part of the system. Are you getting me? They are trying to intimidate some of us. They are trying to intimidate those who ask them so that they will not do that. And so that's exactly what made us to be FCC, move to CPC and other things. I think people wake up. Because when you give me any accounting data, when it comes across me, I will analyze it to suit you and suit the security systems that do the...
All right, Barrister, I'll get back to you. Okay, you are the head of the steering committee. Tell me what your job entails as the head of the steering committee.
Well, it's all about piloting the affair of the movement. I call it a movement because it have a long way to go. We just started, though it's a 2 years or 2.5 year project for now, but the projection is high and the motivation is equally there. People like us are self-propelled to accomplish this purpose. Because I tell people, count me out on a system that is meant to enjoy the privilege and forget the purpose of being in power. I'm not in power. I don't intend to play politics for now. Only God knows what will happen in the future. But for now, I'm not playing politics. I'm not a member of any political party. I don't intend to register now with anybody. But the issue is that wherever you find yourself in power, we are there to tell you, bros, you owe us a duty.
You are responsible.
You are responsible to us, and you must hold accountable. So my responsibility as the steering committee head of radio is to prioritize the affair harmonize, galvanize, and ensure that we remain focused in achieving our mandates.
All right, I'll go ahead and open up the phone lines and take one or two calls because I believe there are people who are concerned, citizens of Oji River, who might be listening to us now and would have a number of questions for you. So I go ahead, open up the phone lines if you're listening to us. We've been talking to men from the Safe Oji River Initiative, and they've been talking about the evaluation of the social contract of elected officials in Oji River local government. I've had with me Chief Barrister Celestine Nabike, the head of the steering committee, and of course His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Onyefuru Edmond. So call me up on the phone lines 08099945945 and 08093999945. If you have questions for them, hit me up now. Let me find out what those questions are.
Let me before we wait for the call. Can we go on when the call please come over?
Okay, I'm not even getting one call. Hello? Yes, good evening. What's your name and location, please? All right, Oliver, let's hear you.
I want to thank the gentlemen in the station, especially Igwe and the barrister. They are doing well. And I wish other local governments, other pressure groups can, it makes us position, all these our elected politicians. I thank them very well. They are doing this very wonderful. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, keep the calls coming. I can take one more call before I get back to them to summarize on their thoughts and their intentions. Hello? All right, it seems we are not getting any more calls. I'll get back to you to, tell us more about this initiative and then summarize.
Well, I want to make a sound appeal. I want to use the opportunity to make a sound appeal. I want to appeal on federal government or whoever that is represented, particularly our Senate and House of Representative member.
Excuse me. Hello? Yes, good day. All right, let's hear you.
Yes, I call in to appreciate your guests and the zeal and the summary of encouragement for this struggle. But I want to ask, Igwe, I could remember when Governor gave some communities 5 million naira. Did you receive anyone?
Yes,
what
sir.
did you use it to do? Let's start from there, please. Remembrance.
All right, thank you for your question. Igwe, that question was directed to you. You might want to respond to it in 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. The straight answer is no.
You did not receive 5 million naira.
I did not receive.
But did you hear of any 5 million naira being
I did.
disbursed?
I did, but I did not receive.
Who were those funds?
It was like I was saying, they have political saboteurs and political intimidators.
Okay.
And this intimidation, like I'm speaking here, I don't fear any intimidation. I will always tell you, please don't stay clear of it. So the intimidation process made my community not to receive because I cannot be intimidated.
All right, fair enough. Barrister, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I said I want to make an appeal here. I want to use your opinion to make an appeal, particularly I want to appeal to the senator representing Enugu West and the House of Representative member Enugu West and even our House of Assembly representative. I know this particular area is above the office of the chairman. The road that leads to Oji River from Oji to Achi is a horrible road. The road Achi joint is an issue. You're talking of Ado is an issue. All the roads they did, that road was done within over 2 years ago. Farm school. So Ogoside have been done. Achi is an issue. Now police college is an issue. So everywhere on that road is a shabby of his glory, of his glory. Now the road that links Oji River, Old Oji River or Oji River Oka Road is a total write-off. from Oji to Oka is to write off. So I want to appeal on our representatives to look into this matter urgently and address that issue. Most of the time, if you are coming to Enugu from Oji end, you will spend almost 3 hours on hold up. So it's a terrible situation that needs urgent attention. People like us, God is on my. I'm not even residing in Nigeria. I'm based in Lagos, but the cry of my people drags me home all the time. So you can see for the past 2 weeks, I've been in 1 week I've been in Enugu, putting hotel bills to make sure this program is organized and way represented. But the truth is that how long can you do this? You see, you get a private fund, you take it to finance the interests of the people. So now, but I'm not a politician. I don't see any way I will get a play from the system. But if my people cry, it affects me. So that's why people like us, when we see an opportunity like this, we want to use it to ensure that we drive home our point. We want to even appeal on the governor of Enugu State to look into Ojeva issue critically. Look at the people, monitor the kind of people you bring because we don't elect them. They impose this poll on us. From every quarter, they impose them. So look at the kind of menu. The present chairman has not done a single project anywhere. Mark my word. I want to challenge anybody that said this particular regime have done anything in Ojeva to come on anywhere and challenge us. We are ready to expose a lot of things, but the time is not there. So whoever they are bringing to rule Ojeva should be looked into critically.
When you say they, who are the they that are bringing?
The powers that be. I'm not a politician, but the issue is that once they brought one before, last regime, they brought another one now. That one was even better. The last one was even better than the one present. We cried so much last 2 years. They brought somebody that I think happened to be a professional, but I don't know what his intention is. He has not done anything reasonable that can say. One can meet the church and say, thank God for bringing this kind of professional in the system. So what we are saying here is that whoever that finds himself in the politics of Ojeva, particularly those that are elected, that are represented in representative capacity, should wake up and start listening to the agenda of the people. There is no meaningful development anywhere. No single development talking of meaningful. There's no development anywhere.
All right, quickly, we have 2 minutes to be here. I want you to talk to people who are listening to you, people of Ojeva, who are interested in this initiative, who want to join the cause of this initiative. Do you have an office? Do you have a place of meeting? How do you come together to, push this narrative?
Well, in a movement like this, it's activism. It's an activism movement, structured movement. It's not for everybody anyway, because it's for the bold-minded and the fearless set of people. Now, and it's not an all-common affair. The politicians, Nigerian context, everything is easily blown off its structure. So we have a way of skimming whoever that applies for us. We intentionally didn't go online for whatever for now. We have our social media line activated lines, but we at a point place them on hold for even understanding of our own. Let's even understand ourselves before we move into larger society. So we have our WhatsApp group, and whoever is interested that knows anybody that have this kind of activity within Ojeva can get through us. If we scream you and discover you are part of us, you come in.
How can they get through you? Or can you give out the WhatsApp number? Not on air.
Not on air, because we don't want this thing to be politicized, and we don't want the situation where politicians. Activism is not. You don't need 300 people to make a point.
All right, fair enough. Thank you for coming around, Chief Barrister Ilo Celestine Nnabike, the steering committee head of SORI. SORI means the Safe Ojeva Initiative, and also we had His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Onyefuru Edmond. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming around and for sharing this with us.
Thank you and good evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. This is still Urban Radio 94.5. We are here keeping you company 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We are always here for you because it's all about friendship and happiness on this radio, Urban Radio 94.5. Happy New Week to you. It's the 22nd of August, 2021. It's a Sunday. Hope you're having a good time. My name is Yagazi. You can call me Mr. Yags. Do stay on this radio because this is the place to be. Urban Radio 94.5.